Welcome back to Top 10 Africa, the channel where we uncover the truth behind the most talked about countries on the continent. Today, we're diving into one of the most controversial topics yet, the top 10 most overrated countries in Africa. These are countries that get praised everywhere, on social media, in travel blogs, and even in global media. But when you look deeper, things aren't always as great as they seem. Don't get me wrong. Every country on this list has its strengths and beauty, but sometimes what's promoted online is far from the full story. So, sit back and relax as we count down the top 10 most overrated countries in Africa. From tourist traps to overhyped economies, we're exposing the reality behind the reputation. Let's begin. Number 10. Ghana. Ghana has built a strong international image over the past few years. It's known as the gateway to Africa, a land of freedom, stability, and warm hospitality. From the year of return in 2019 to the vibrant culture of Accra, Ghana has attracted global attention, especially from the African diaspora. But here's the thing. While Ghana is a peaceful and historically rich country, the reality on the ground is different from what the headlines suggest. The cost of living has skyrocketed, electricity prices are high, and traffic congestion in Accra can turn a short drive into an hour-long journey. Even simple things like internet access or basic public services can be frustrating at times. Tourists often expect a modern, convenient destination, but face heat, power cuts, and high prices. Locals will tell you, life in Ghana is not as easy as it's made to look online. It's a country with charm and promise, but also a place that's been overly glorified by the media. That's why Ghana starts off our list at number 10. Number 9. Kenya. Kenya is one of Africa's most marketed destinations. It's famous for its safaris, wildlife, beaches, and the buzzing city life of Nairobi. Almost every travel influencer paints Kenya as the perfect African mix: adventure, modernity, and beauty. But here's what people don't often talk about. Kenya is expensive. Tourism prices are high, and even everyday costs for food, rent, and transport can shock visitors. While Nairobi is one of the most developed cities in East Africa, it's also one of the most unequal. You can see luxury apartments right next to large informal settlements. And then there's the issue of insecurity. Street crime and corruption can be real challenges for both locals and visitors. Many first-time travelers say that while Kenya's nature is breathtaking, the overall experience doesn't always live up to the hype. So, yes, Kenya is beautiful, but the glowing reputation often overshadows the harsh realities many face every day. Number 8. South Africa. When people think of Africa's most advanced nation, South Africa often comes to mind. It's home to skyscrapers, large malls, and world-class infrastructure. Cities like Cape Town and Johannesburg look stunning in photos and movies. But behind the beautiful scenery lies a complex story. South Africa faces deep social and economic challenges. Unemployment is extremely high, especially among the youth. Crime rates are alarming, with violent incidents happening even in tourist zones. And many areas still deal with inequality that traces back to the apartheid era. Yes, South Africa is advanced in many ways, but it's also a country struggling with poverty, electricity shortages, and political issues. Visitors are often surprised by how different the reality feels compared to the image online. The country is breathtaking, but it's also one of the most misunderstood places in Africa. That contrast makes South Africa both fascinating and overrated. Number 7. Egypt. Egypt has one of the most iconic images in the world: pyramids, pharaohs, and the Nile River. Every year, millions of tourists come to expect to walk through ancient wonders and experience magic from thousands of years ago. But for many, the experience turns out to be overwhelming and exhausting rather than magical. Cairo, for example, is one of the most crowded cities on Earth. The pollution, constant honking, and street chaos can be too much for some visitors. Then there's the issue of scams. Tourists being overcharged or tricked into buying things they don't need is extremely common. Egypt's history is incredible, but its modern-day tourist experience doesn't always live up to expectations. Outside the main tourist areas, poverty is visible and infrastructure can be poor. So while Egypt remains one of Africa's most famous destinations, it's also one of the most overrated, at least when compared to the glossy travel posters. Number 6. Morocco. Morocco is the face of North African tourism. From Marrakesh to Casablanca, it's promoted as a dreamland of colors, spices, and culture. And on social media, it truly looks magical. Ancient streets, desert camps, and endless charm. But the truth is that Morocco's tourism experience can be very different once you arrive. Prices are inflated in tourist areas, scams are common, and many visitors find the constant haggling exhausting. Even some locals admit that the image presented online is far more glamorous than reality. Beyond the cities, many regions face poverty, unemployment, and poor public services. Morocco is still one of Africa's most beautiful countries, but it's a place where travelers often feel that the hype sets unrealistic expectations. It's a destination of mixed experiences, unforgettable for some, disappointing for others. Number 5. Nigeria. Nigeria, often called the Giant of Africa, is famous for its music, movies, and larger-than-life culture. With Afrobeats dominating global charts and Nollywood movies reaching millions, Nigeria's image has exploded internationally. But for all its global attention, life in Nigeria is nearly as glamorous as the media makes it look like. The country struggles with unstable electricity, heavy traffic, and high inflation. Many Nigerians work hard every day just to meet basic needs, while infrastructure problems continue to slow progress. Even in Lagos, one of Africa's biggest cities, constant noise, poor roads, and floods are part of everyday life. Nigerians' people are talented and resilient, but the government's inefficiency and corruption make things harder. So while Nigeria is influential and powerful, it's also one of the most overrated countries in Africa when it comes to daily living standards. It's a place full of energy and potential, but the hype often overshadows the real struggles many face. Number 4. Seychelles. Seychelles is often seen as the ultimate African paradise. White sands, turquoise waters, and luxurious resorts. Every travel website calls it one of the most beautiful countries on Earth. But what they don't tell you is that the country's cost of living is high, and only a small group of people can truly enjoy that luxury lifestyle. Locals often live modestly, and many of the high-end resorts are owned by foreign investors. Tourists expecting variety or nightlife might find Seychelles quiet and limited once they leave the resort areas. It's a peaceful place, but not the exciting paradise it's often portrayed to be. For most visitors, the prices alone make Seychelles feel more overrated than amazing. It's a stunning country, but beauty alone doesn't make a place perfect. Number 3. Tanzania. Tanzania is famous for its wildlife, Mount Kilimanjaro, and the tropical island of Zanzibar. The country gets a lot of hype as one of Africa's top destinations, and rightfully so. It's stunning. But the problem comes when expectations become too high. Tourists often imagine Zanzibar as a luxury tropical escape, but once they arrive, many are surprised by high prices, limited public transport, and inconsistent service. Even getting around Tanzania can be tiring. Long distances, rough roads, and slow systems. And while the safaris are world-class, they are also very expensive, making Tanzania more of a destination for the wealthy than for the average traveler. It's still one of Africa's gems, but not every experience lives up to the glowing social media posts. That gap between online hype and real-life experience makes Tanzania one of the most overrated countries in Africa. Number 2. Rwanda. Rwanda has done an incredible job improving its image over the years. It's known as one of Africa's cleanest, safest, and most organized countries. The capital, Kigali, is often praised for its cleanliness and development. But the image of perfection has created unrealistic expectations. Rwanda is clean and organized, yes, but it also has some of the highest living costs in East Africa. The job market is small, and strict regulations limit public expression. It's a country with strong leadership and big ambitions, but also one that tightly controls its image. Many visitors are surprised when they realize that everyday life isn't as glamorous as the government promotions suggest. Still, Rwanda's progress is real, but the utopia image is what makes it overrated. Number 1. Mauritius. Mauritius is often called heaven on earth. It's known for its beaches, clear waters, and luxury lifestyle. But while that image attracts tourists from around the world, the truth is much more complex. Most of the luxury resorts are for foreigners, and many locals can't afford to visit them. The country's economy depends heavily on tourism, and prices are much higher than in other African destinations. For locals, the cost of housing, food, and services continues to rise, creating a big gap between the rich and everyone else. Beyond the beaches, Mauritius is small and limited in diversity. Once you've seen the main attractions, there isn't much else to explore unless you spend big. So while it's beautiful and peaceful, it's also one of the most overrated countries in Africa, simply because the hype is too big for the reality. So, there you have it, the top 10 most overrated countries in Africa. Each of these countries has something special, but they're also proof that no place is perfect. Sometimes the way a country is marketed doesn't match the truth people live every day. Remember, being overrated doesn't mean bad. It simply means people expect too much and reality doesn't always deliver. If you've ever visited any of these countries, let us know your experience in the comments below. Which country do you think deserves to be on this list? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another Top 10 Africa Countdown. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.